Good morning, everybody. Thanks for being out here today. I think the breeze died down a little bit for just in time for our little event. Today I'm joined by the Honorable Hetty Fry, Member of Parliament for Vancouver Centre, Bowen Ma, Parliamentary Secretary for Translink, Mayor Richard Walton from the District of North Vancouver, and Patrick Stafford Smith, CEO and Chief Development Officer for the North Vancouver Chamber of Commerce. I'd also like to acknowledge many of my colleagues from SeaBus, Coast Mountain Bus Company, as well as Translink to help us mark this particular event. This morning, I'm very pleased to announce the start of seismic upgrades and accessibility improvements at the Waterfront Station SeaBus terminal right behind me. This 42-year-old terminal is getting a major upgrade over the next year plus. More than 17,000 people ride the SeaBus on an average weekday between North Vancouver and the city of Vancouver here at Waterfront. That number, as I'm sure the folks who started SeaBus in 1976 would be something they'd be very proud of. It's such an important portion of our transportation network for this region and an increasingly important component of it. To improve seismic resiliency and accessibility for customers, this SeaBus terminal upgrades will include a new elevator, 4 replacement escalators. The current escalators in the building behind me are some 40 years old, a new staircase to better manage crowding, and a new building extension, right where we're standing today with a new entrance and compass vending machine for customers coming to and from the Helijet and Waterfront. This project, in effect, will improve overall vertical and horizontal circulation for our many SeaBus customers. Along with our provincial and federal partners, we're investing $17 million to improve the safety by seismically upgrading the entire facility and ensure this terminal continues to serve our customers today and well into the future. This is just yet another example of the multi-organizational commitment to public infrastructure here in the Lower Mainland, with the fantastic contribution from the federal government and the provincial government, matched by our local mayors and Translink. And we want to underscore that this project is another ongoing commitment to improving transportation for our very, very many North Shore customers. Today's announcement also kicks off this year's Translink Maintenance and Repair Program. This is our ongoing investment in repairing, replacing, and improving aging infrastructure across the system to keep our customers safe, comfortable, and moving across our reliable transit system every single day. Our customers tell us that they want reliable service, and to deliver, we need to invest on our facilities, our fleet, and our infrastructure. These are the investments that keep our system running. That means we have to do maintenance and repair work on a regular basis, and we have to be proactive about that. It's very, very important, even while we're building expansions to our system to increase the capacity of our system. We must keep our system in a state of good repair and not defer maintenance on our system. As the temperature increases as we go into the construction season during the summer months, we'll be increasing much of the maintenance on the system. And we recognize that this work does impose inconvenience on our customers, depending on when the work is happening and where the work is happening. We want to thank our customers and neighbors of our system and infrastructure for their patience during this work. For example, this project will take about 15 months to complete, starting at the end of this month. Everything's getting older, and that makes the maintenance and repairs from wear and tear that much more improvement for our 1.3 million daily customers. We take the state of good repair of our system very, very seriously. Our focus is being proactive with the maintenance and repairs, monitoring the service and customer feedback, and most importantly, putting our money into that major infrastructure. In fact, we have some 98 projects throughout the system ongoing right now, valued at approximately $200 million, and coming up in the next couple of years is an additional $150 million in state of good repair investment. Now, some examples of the 98 projects we have going on right now. Running rail replacement on the Expo line. Over the next 8 to 10 years on an annual basis, we will be replacing some 5,000 meters of track per year. Doing this maintenance means that our customers and people who live adjoining to the SkyTrain guideway will have less noise. Our customers will have a smoother ride. We're in the process of upgrading stations throughout the system, and in fact, we have about 7 projects in one state or another of progress. Metrotown Station, Commercial Broadway, Joyce Collingwood, Surrey Central Station, all in various stages of construction at this point or nearing completion. We're getting started with the major escalator replacement program. Not unlike the 4 escalators, 40-year-old escalators here in this building, many of our escalators on the original Expo line are over 30 years old. They are original equipment. So over the next couple of years, we'll be getting started on replacing 37 escalators at 13 SkyTrain stations and West Coast Express. You'll hear more about that in the coming days. And even our trolley overhead. You know, the trolley system, 315 kilometers of trolley overhead. That's even more than our 73-kilometer SkyTrain network. That system was built in 1948, requires ongoing maintenance. Things like 2,500 hanger replacements and 100 poles will have to be replaced over the coming year. So with an aging transit infrastructure, we've got to have this ongoing maintenance and that ongoing investment to keep the system safe and in a state of good repair. So with that, I want to thank our other VIP guests here for helping to mark this particular project, and I would like to introduce the Honorable Hetty Fry, MP.
Good morning, everyone. This is really an important occasion because, as many of you know, the federal government has committed to partnering with provinces, local government, and other groups like, say, Translink to create a very strong set of infrastructure within this country. So it's a pleasure to be with you here this morning on behalf of the Honorable Amarjit Joshi, who is Minister of Infrastructure and Communities, to celebrate this Smart Maintenance Program launch. I'm proud that the Government of Canada is contributing over $4 million to important upgrades to the SeaBus Waterfront terminal, which will ensure that Vancouver continues to be one of this country's greenest and most transit-friendly cities. It is through these types of important investments in public transit that we see real improvements in our quality of life. Maintaining and upgrading the infrastructure will not only ensure systems that are more accessible, but will also improve commute times, reduce air pollution, and help to create a more inclusive community where everyone has access to public services and job opportunities. And as someone who lives and has lived in the Lower Mainland for a long time, I can tell you how important this is for the times that people spend to use transit like the SeaBus to get from the North Shore over to Vancouver to do jobs. And mobility for jobs is a really important challenge that people are facing now, as they have to take many, many hours to get from A to B to find a job and get home in the evenings. And so we need to work on some of that, and I think this will hopefully help in that small way. And as you see, the other projects that we heard today will help to make that happen. As some of you know, the Government of Canada has been working in close collaboration with our provincial, territorial, Indigenous, and municipal partners to deliver unprecedented investments in infrastructure. Our goal is to build strong foundations for economic growth and to create middle-class jobs while we're doing this. We want to develop inclusive communities where everyone has access to the opportunities they need to thrive, from seniors and Indigenous Canadians to new immigrants and those living in rural, suburban, and northern communities. We want to encourage innovation in how we fund and how we build public infrastructure. And we want to make our communities healthy and livable through green infrastructure investments and ensure they're protected against natural disasters. And for British Columbia, we know how important that is. So to achieve this, the Government of Canada is investing more than $180 billion in infrastructure projects over 12 years. So far, through this plan, we have approved more than $1.7 billion for over 250 projects across the province of British Columbia. Building on these investments, we have now created reached an agreement with British Columbia for the next 10 years of funding. This long-term support will make projects possible across 4 priority areas: improving public transit, supporting green infrastructure projects, building community, culture, and recreation infrastructure, and supporting projects in northern and rural communities. This unprecedented funding represents and reflects our commitment to build an equal, competitive, and sustainable country. Over the last 2 years, the Canadian economy has created nearly 600,000 new jobs, and the unemployment rate is near an all-time low. Canada has had the fastest growing economy in the G7 nations, and Canada is feeling more optimistic, and so are Canadians, about their future. Our investments in infrastructure have been essential to this success and remain critical to keeping up the momentum of moving Canada forward, maintaining our place and making our place in the world better. From important local projects like this, the one that we're celebrating today, to large-scale developments that contribute to smart growth on a national level, we will continue to support 21st century infrastructure that yields tangible results for Canadians. Thank you very much. Oh, and I'm sorry, I'd like to introduce the Parliamentary Secretary for Translink, Ms. Rowena Ma. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, and thank you so much, Hetty, for your words. Thank you so much, CEO Kevin Desmond, for his words. So I am Bowen Ma, the Parliamentary Secretary for Translink for the province of British Columbia, and it's great to be here today on the traditional territories of the Coast Salish peoples, including the Squamish, the Musqueam, and the Tsleil-Waututh, in order to celebrate with you the launch of Translink's maintenance and repair program, so that we can let people know what's happening to make their experiences with public transit even better. To the Translink staff and the Mayor's Council, I want to thank them for their work, all the work that they do in their communities and across the region to make life better for the people who live in and visit Metro Vancouver. Building an even better BC is our government's top priority, and I can't stress enough how important partnerships are in making that happen. That's why our government is committed to funding 40% of the capital costs of the Mayor's 10-year vision for transit in Metro Vancouver, and why we're committed to working with them and Translink to advance important transit projects across the Lower Mainland. With Vancouver expected to grow by 1.2 million residents by 2041, we need to invest in new transit projects. But we also need to ensure that our current transportation infrastructure is reliable and in good shape. So I am very encouraged by the fact that Translink is taking the initiative to ensure people in British Columbia have peace of mind when using our transit system. From my experience as Parliamentary Secretary for Translink, as an avid user of transit, and as a member of this community, I know how important it is to give people safe and convenient opportunities to choose transit. For the people living in my community of North Vancouver who commute through downtown each and every day, keeping the service in good repair is of utmost importance. I'm actually personally very excited about this project. Prior to my election, taking the SeaBus was a twice daily routine for me. I was one of the 17,000 people, I guess, that travel through the SeaBus every single day. And for better or for worse, one of the things that I have been known for is advocating to Translink through letters, but also through Twitter quite often, for the introduction or the implementation of a counterflow, because I know what it's like to be one of those 300 passengers exiting a SeaBus all at once, trying to get up a single escalator when the other escalator is down for maintenance, which is very common when infrastructure is reaching end of life. Well, now, SeaBus, or not now, but very soon, SeaBus passengers will be able to rely on 4 new escalators, 2 elevators, and a new staircase. And let's just say, if you take the SeaBus on a regular basis, especially during peak hours, you're going to know that that is something to celebrate. The bottom line is that every bit of work that Translink does to make Translink's facilities safer, more efficient and accessible means people can spend more time with their families instead of sitting in their daily commute, instead of missing connections. Faster transfers and a better commuting experience encourage people to take transit more often. And I know the work coming to improve this terminal, this SeaBus terminal, will give thousands of SeaBus customers a better experience as they move through our system and get to where they need to go. I look forward to seeing how Translink continues to expand its services and capacity across Metro Vancouver through the Mayor's 10-year vision and beyond as well. So finally, I do want to thank once again Translink, the Mayor's Council, Infrastructure Canada, and everyone else involved with the maintenance and repair program, in particular all those hardworking staff and the workers who carry out this work, for putting in all that hard work to ensure that we continue to improve public transportation for British Columbians. I cannot wait to see the renovated facility. The renderings already look amazing, and I believe that it's going to be revealed to you soon. And the rest of the work that comes from this program is going to be very, very valuable to everyone in Metro Vancouver. So with that, I thank you for your time, and I would like to introduce to the podium District of North Vancouver Mayor Richard Walton.
And I speak as a 40-year SeaBus user. And I always thought that it's an amazing experience on SeaBus. If you're not in a hurry, you get your book and you find a seat at the back, and then you don't look up until everybody else moves. And if you're in a rush, you don't read, you look out the window, you see the world-class view that people pay lots of money to come here to look at, and we're riding it for $2 or $3 to get to the other side, and it's always a good experience on SeaBus. So thank you, Bowen, for that introduction. I'm really happy to be here as Vice Chair of Mayor's Council and Mayor of the District of North Vancouver. And many thanks especially to Hetty and Bowen for being here, and for your governments being such important partners with us improving our transportation network in Metro Vancouver. I also want to thank Patrick for being here from the North Shore Chamber. Your members are both important members of our community, but have also been critical partners with North Vancouver and the region in coming up with solutions to make this place one of the best places of the world to live in and do business. This region plays a critical role in the province's and nation's economy, and our roads, bridges, and transit system keep the region, its people, and economy moving. And it's too big a job for any single order of government to tackle on its own, which is why it's so important and so gratifying to see the partnership on this program here today. I'm also happy to be here because the Translink maintenance and repair program that we are here to announce is the kind of project that this accountant mayor particularly loves, repairing and placing and improving aging infrastructure to keep residents safe, comfortable, and well served. It's not flashy, it's not high profile, but this kind of unheralded work is absolutely essential to keeping our public infrastructure working safely and well with a long life. And finally, I'm pleased to be here because one of the first big projects in this program is focused on this SeaBus terminal, which many of us on the North Shore pass through every day. These improvements will keep the terminal safe, but also improve the customer service. And as a 40-year SeaBus user, I can say that is always a good thing. And I know there's a long list of other similar projects coming up across the system. The Mayor's Council appreciates and will support Translink's focus on doing this kind of important maintenance and modernization work. So kudos to Kevin and his team at Translink for getting this done. And again, thanks to the province of BC and the Government of Canada for our support. And I'll pass the floor over to Patrick Stafford-Smythe from the North Vancouver Chamber of Commerce. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. It's truly my pleasure to be here representing the businesses in North Vancouver, and I'd say the North Shore in entirety. It really is encouraging to see the investment that Translink is making in maintenance and enhancements to provide more reliable and accessible transit. We firmly believe that increased investment in dependable transit supports the entire economy. The importance of transportation infrastructure as a key driver of growth, competitiveness, and social well-being is well established, and we need to support bold, forward-thinking, and ongoing investments in transportation infrastructure for future regional economic success. For many people across Metro Vancouver, the SeaBus is the gateway to the North Shore and North Vancouver. And as people have alluded, there are many people coming from North Vancouver to here, but many of the jobs in North Vancouver rely on people across Metro Vancouver. But providing people with predictable and reliable transportation brings greater certainty for businesses and is a step in the right direction in fostering an efficient economy and an investment. Again, we are thrilled to see Translink listening to the community and working in cooperation with all levels of government to fund reliable, safer, and more accessible transit infrastructure. We look forward to continued investment in transportation infrastructure to further improve the employee commute to North Vancouver. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Mayor Walton, Parliamentary Secretary Ma, and MP Fry. And I'd like to now ask Ms. Ma and Ms. Fry if you would help us unveil what the renovated SeaBus terminal is going to look like in 18 months or so.
Are you gonna
Please,
count us down?
go for it. So that, I believe, is exactly the side of the building that you'll be seeing from this facing area with the project. It's a really important project. Much of this asphalt that we're standing on is also going to be rehabilitated as part of the seismic upgrade. So we really look forward to opening up this really wonderful additional facility for our many SeaBus customers. So with that, I think we can open it up for some questions about the project.
Yeah, if we can have you just indicate you have a question, I just want to make sure we get it on microphone. If we can focus questions on the event today first, and then we'll close the event. And if you have other questions for the speakers about other issues, then we can take those questions after we close the event. I appreciate that. Thank you.
This question kind of pertains to today's announcement. You were talking about maintenance. In terms of the maintenance schedule for SkyTrain in the evenings, we heard again from Vancouver Mayor and Council this week, along with businesses, that they would really like to see extended SkyTrain hours for the weekend. Are there any plans to adjust the maintenance schedule for SkyTrain to allow that?
We are currently conducting a pretty intense study through our British Columbia Rapid Transit company, SkyTrain company, to look at worldwide practices, best practices, to understand what exactly the maintenance requirements are for SkyTrain, understand the trade-offs, even if we could operate it late at night, what those trade-offs might be, and then we'll present that both to the public and, of course, to our policymakers in the weeks and the months ahead. We have been in discussions with the City of Vancouver. We have been in discussions with various different stakeholders. It's a tough issue for us. You know, today's announcement is about maintaining our system in a state of good repair. We do much of the work in SkyTrain overnight, and those maintenance windows are actually very, very short. It amounts to about 4 hours of work at night. And interestingly, the overnight Friday and the overnight Saturday nights into Saturday morning and Sunday mornings are actually somewhat longer maintenance windows. So it's even more impactful if we were to run SkyTrain on Friday and Saturday night overnight. We're going to take a good, honest look at that. If we can figure out a way to operate it and still do the maintenance, we'll put that forward and we'll identify the plan. But it'll take probably several months before we are able to make that information public.
Other questions? Okay, we'll close off the event. Thank you, everyone, for attending.
Thank you.